the NCW Life channel.
Man, that's a good-looking view up there at Billy Goat, isn't it? Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, my oh my. It's a wonderful day. Thursday, 14th day of March, 2024. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Little on the cool side. It's clear skies. We're at 32 degrees here in the big city. High pressure is pretty much here now, just sitting off the coast of the state. Going to gradually move our way. We are in for an extended period of sunny and mild weather. We really start getting warm over the weekend. We're going to be topping off with near record highs possible on Sunday and Monday, and Tuesday we have a very good chance of setting a record high temperature on Tuesday. Ironically enough, Tuesday is also the vernal equinox, first day of spring, which by the way officially will be at 8:06 in the evening on Tuesday of next week. We're not there yet, but boy, there's not a lot of weather to talk about, except it's just going to be beautiful. But we'll talk about it anyway. When we get to the weather forecast, we'll do the news. We have a lot of news. Sports, the Huskies are out of the Pac-12 tournament, so the Mike Hopkins era is officially over, as is the Huskies' basketball history with the Pac-12. We'll have highlights of that. Preview Wenatchee Wild hockey. Couple of big home games tomorrow. Spokane on Friday tomorrow, and then Portland in town on Saturday. We'll have that in sports. Mike Magnotti's got an opinion. I try to remember what it's about. I can't remember. Anyway, we got some good stuff for you as well. We're in a good mood. We'll see what happens as we roll through the day, and we'll begin our festivities as we always do with our cameras around the valley from our Wenatchee Heights camera. Sunrise this morning will be at 7:14. Sunset tonight 7:06. That's 11 hours and 51 minutes of daylight. Even though the vernal equinox, the first official day of spring, isn't until Tuesday, we'll go past the 12-hour mark of daylight. We'll have longer days than nights starting on Sunday, St. Patrick's Day. It'll be a little over 12 hours of daylight. And by the way, the St. Patrick's Day parade a little earlier this year. It's on a Sunday down Rondo Street, and I believe it's at 5-ish instead of 7-ish. So the whole parade will be taking place during the daylight hours. Or I think it's the 43rd annual St. Patty's Day parade coming to downtown Wenatchee on Sunday. Let's get on up to Billy Goat. There you go. Gorgeous up there. Looks like they may have a few more high clouds up there than we have down here. Omak right now, let me check real quick. You are checking in at 35 degrees in Omak. In fact, that's the warm spot in our viewing area from the mighty Billy Goat camera. I'm pretty sure that Alta Lake Golf Course is open. Now, golf courses will be crazy this weekend. The Apple Capital Recreational Loop Trail, people will be all over that. I mean, it's going to be the first really nice, pleasant, warm, mild, sunny weekend we've had in a long time coming our way. Stein Hill, on top of Stein Hill is a camera. I believe, I can't see in my studio, but I believe that's pointing due west. I think that's pointing towards Leavenworth, towards the Dryden-Peshastin area. I can't tell because, well, I can't tell. Between the monitor and the bright lights, I don't really know what we're looking at, but I'm told that's the camera on top of Stein Hill. And finally, to Lake Wenatchee we go, and I know that's Lake Wenatchee because I've been there many, many times. Doesn't look like the Kaler Glen Golf Course will be opening up anytime in the near future, but with the afternoon highs getting pretty warm and the overnight lows will be in the mid-40s, the snow will be melting at a fairly rapid rate up on Dirty Face and around the Lake Wenatchee area as the warm weather continues, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous forecast we have for you. Again, there's simply not a lot of weather to talk about. The ridge is building along the coast. It's going to be dry, it's going to be warm, it's going to be sunny. Each day we warm just a few degrees, so 55 our forecast high today, which is what we hit yesterday, but we're also cooler than we were yesterday at this time. Yesterday at this time we were at 36, right now we're at 32, so it'll take us a little while to climb up. Sunshine Friday and a high of 60, 66 on Sunday. Lots and lots of sunshine. Like I said, it's going to be really, really hard to stay indoors this weekend. And then by the time we get to 66 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. If we get to 70, that would tie the record high for Sunday, the 17th. If we get to 70 on Monday, that would also tie the record high on the 18th. And if we get to 72 on Tuesday, the day of the vernal equinox, that would be a new record. The record high on March 19th is 68 degrees. So close to record highs Sunday and Monday, and if this forecast pans out, we'll set a record high on Tuesday, and then a slight cool down Wednesday, and then things will change on Thursday. But no complaints at all about that forecast. The news is 2 minutes away because we think it's important that you know what's going on, and we'll do just exactly that on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Your home runs on hot water. From the kitchen, to the bath, to the laundry. So Rheem offers a wide variety of water heaters, from traditional models to ones smart enough to tell you how much hot water is available. On second thought, perhaps the laundry can wait.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
Right at the freezing mark, 32 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. We'll top off in the mid-50s, pretty much what we did yesterday. Lower 60s on Friday, mid-60s on Saturday, 70 degrees on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for our afternoon highs. 7 minutes after the hour, the Wenatchee School District presented recommended and non-recommended considerations for budget reductions at Tuesday night's board meeting. The district is targeting a preliminary budget reduction between $8 and $9 million for the next school year, and will need to add $3 to $4 million in reductions for the 2025-2026 school year. Superintendent Corey Callahar has said that the recommended actions are the possible closure of Columbia and additional budget reductions of Bell's schedule, changes at the middle schools, Wenatchee High School, and additional staff reductions. Callahar explained that delaying the closure of Columbia by a year would still require the district to make preliminary reductions of $5 to $7 million for the next school year. Items not recommended for budget reductions included administrative positions like principal roles, security positions, and school programs like AVID. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office has got the dough to start wearing body cams. The funding was secured by Congresswoman Kim Schreier after she requested that it be included in a community project funding bill that was signed into law by President Biden back on March 9th. The Sheriff's Office was awarded $660,000 to purchase the equipment, the accessories, the data management, and to implement the body cam program. Out of all the regional law enforcement agencies, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is the only one without body cameras. Sheriff Mike Morrison said he applied for the funding at the beginning of 2023, and he told NCW Life he thinks the body cams will help them be more transparent in the communities that they serve. A Bridgeport couple already suspected of kidnapping in Okanagan County. Well, they've been charged with drug possession with intent to deliver in neighboring Douglas County. 48-year-old Michael J. Mayer and 31-year-old Regina Kolcher were charged Tuesday in Douglas County Superior Court for allegedly possessing at least 3,500 tablets of fentanyl at their home in Bridgeport. The two were arrested last September on suspicion of assault and kidnapping a man in Brewster. The drugs were allegedly found when police searched their Bridgeport residence. During that investigation, both Mayer and Kolcher have been jailed in Okanogan County since their arrest on a $150,000 bond. A Wenatchee man was arraigned Wednesday of charges of using his home in the South Chelan area, South Chelan Avenue, I should say. They say he was using his home as a drug distribution point. 48-year-old Wilver Ventura Acosta, he was arrested on February 29th after allegedly selling methamphetamine to informants for the Columbia River Drug Task Force. Last week, Chelan County prosecutors filed 3 charges of controlled substance delivery against Ventura, as well as unlawful use of a building for drug purposes. He's currently freed on a $30,000 bail. His trial has yet to be scheduled. The U.S. House of Representatives voted yesterday, overwhelmingly as a matter of fact, 352 to 65 to outlaw the popular social media platform TikTok if its Chinese ownership does not give up control of the app to another buyer. 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier voted for the bill in the full House, both in the House and in her committee that she serves on, the Energy Commerce Committee. Like other proponents, she told NCW Life that as it exists, TikTok poses a national security threat.
Today's vote was 100% about protecting our national security. It's about protecting our population's data, and it is protecting us from malign interference, either from propaganda or interference with elections. There's lots of theoreticals. That does not mean I don't have general concerns about social media and its impact on children in particular, but that is a separate issue that I think needs to be taken up separately and with regard to every social media company.
A lot of people have found a lot of freedom of expression on TikTok. Did you have any difficulty squaring the kind of First Amendment concerns that a bill like this might raise?
No, not at all. This bill is about having TikTok owned by an allied country or by a U.S. interest. And, the platform continues, and it is highly likely that people won't even sense an interruption other than perhaps not having information manipulated or seeing propaganda. But the user experience will continue. And I really cannot imagine that they would not opt to sell a company worth tens of billions of dollars. I just don't know what business sense that would make for TikTok.
And that bill is now in the hands of the United States Senate. Prices are likely going to go up at Leavenworth's Big Brush Collection Yard. The city of Leavenworth, just like the western half of Chelan County, is in the apple maggot quarantine zone. That means yard waste and plant materials cannot be trucked out of the area for disposal. Chelan County operates a brush yard on Icicle Road. It charges $20 per cubic yard of yard waste, but it's running at a loss. It's actually losing money, and Chelan County commissioners are considering raising that price to $25 and keeping it open 1 day a week. A vote on the price change is likely within the next couple of weeks. And speaking of the Upper Valley, they have set a date. April 1st is the day they're going to close down the dump in Dryden and start fixing it up. The Dryden Transfer Station, that's where most of the refuse from the upper Wenatchee Valley ends up. Chelan County Commissioners on Tuesday authorized repair work to begin on April 1st on the floor of the concrete pit where the garbage is deposited. SCI Industrial Services got the job, just over $237,000 to do the work. Public Works Director Eric Pearson says the repair is much needed and it's within the department's budget. A reopening date is not certain, but the transfer station may be closed for up to 2.5 weeks. So you have to drive down to Wenatchee to get rid of that stuff. And that is the news at 14 minutes after the hour. If you're interested in what's going on around here, I'm one of them. we have a newscast. It's the NCAA Live Evening News, and it'll be on television on this very TV station tonight at 5 o'clock, again at 6 o'clock, and then one more time at 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If you don't watch television, well, if you don't watch television, you're not watching this show. But if you watch your TV using the internet, and a lot of people do, our news will be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and on our app, and that's how you download the app. Right there, there's your QR code, and if there's something out there that you think is newsworthy, you get a hold of us, because if you don't, then we don't know about it. News at ncwlife.com. College basketball, by the way, a huge historic night for the Eastern Washington women. We'll have that too. A lot of sports to get to when we come back. You're watching the Thursday edition of Wake Up on Angie Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I chose Pinnacles because they give you a lot of opportunities for really fun field trips and activities.
It's a smaller school, so you feel more connected to other people.
My favorite thing about Pinnacles is definitely how we got to choose our elective.
I learn at my own speeds. It's a place where people can be who they want to be, and they show that by using their epic values.
We choose Pinnacles because the staff is accepting.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why people here drive Honda. Dependable all-wheel drive with traction control, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to fill up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda is known for legendary fuel efficiency? Great deals are here now, and so is Mr. Frost. So see your Inland Northwest Honda dealer today. Honda can handle it.
My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
17 minutes after the hour in sports, the Mike Hopkins era is officially over. For Husky men's basketball, the Huskies lost in the first round yesterday afternoon. Eliminated from the Pac-12 tournament, 80-74 was the final. USC over the Huskies. USC used a 10-0 run to turn a 5-point deficit into a 64-59 lead late in the second half, and they never trailed again.
Really good recently. It's not just Boogie Ellis and Isaiah Collier. Kobe Johnson has really elevated his play.
Yeah, the role players, Kobe Johnson, DJ Rodman, you see it right there, a nice shot just getting to the wing.
Oren Johnson. Xavier Wheeler, the scoop, and one for Xavier Wheeler.
Johnson wanted him to slam that, but he didn't. He was in the rim.
Vincent Iwuchukwu slams it at the other end.
Yeah, good run of the floor there, rim run.
Shot clock at 7. Isaiah Collier.
There's that pick and roll we talked about.
And Joshua Morgan finishes for the Trojans. 9-0 run to tie the game. And their only 2 losses during the 7-game stretch was a tough, narrow loss in Pullman to Washington State and the double overtime loss at home to Colorado. Moses Wood ties the game. And an errant pass, and DJ Rodman threw it away. Again, the last shot, they will review it to see if it was a 3. No doubt a 3 from Moses Wood.
So, and then you go zone in these late clocks. Sometimes it's hard to get into offense against zone. It takes a little longer. So I liked how Collier started earlier right there, and then they get it to Boogie in the middle. Great recognition by Collier. Nice finish by Boogie.
Moses Wood, 3! My goodness, Moses Wood!
but not pleased with how they finished the half, and said he'll continue to switch up his defenses, but he's going to lean to go more man-to-man heavy in the second half.
Boogie Ellis nails a three.
Doesn't know what to do inside the arc.
Out of his comfort zone.
Out of his zone.
Strip from Boogie Ellis. Leads to a run out for Corin Johnson.
Nice finish. I was wondering what he was going to do. And, you know, we've gotten away a little bit because, you know, look, face it, and there's Boogie.
And a steal by Boogie. And Boogie to the bucket. And USC. And Collier the rebound.
To your point, the only two he's missed.
He's open.
Been wide open.
Oh, the scoop, the finger roll, Isaiah Collier. Right now overcoming 11 threes by Washington. Boogie Ellis from deep, and a three for Boogie Ellis.
67 have been threes. Just in a place he was not comfortable with.
Boogie Ellis behind a screen and a three. Trying to handle the press is DJ Rodman. They get it across. Joshua Morgan ahead, and Kobe Johnson gets the flyby and lays it in.
And that should do it.
Xavier Wheeler fouled and won. 15. 4 straight wins, and they will get Arizona on Thursday at noon to start day 2 and quarterfinal number 1.
I think there's going to be some juice.
Last game of the Mike Hopkins era, also the last game of Husky men's basketball as members of the Pac-12. There's the rest of the schedule as you see today. The number 9 seed USC Trojans, who just beat the Huskies, take on number 1 seed Arizona. That's at noon on the Pac-12 network. That'll be followed by Oregon and UCLA at 12:30. The Cougars, the number 2 seed in the tournament in the quarterfinals, will be at 6 o'clock tonight against Stanford. And the only game not on the Pac-12 network is at 8:30 tonight. Number 3 Colorado and number 6 Utah. Jaquita Buckley posted a double-double. Eastern Washington regrouped on defense after a bad first quarter, and they beat Northern Arizona. Congratulations to the Cougars, 73 to the Eagles, 73-64 in the Big Sky Championship game. That means that the Eastern Washington women are going to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1987. You saw the Cactus League baseball score. Manager Scott Service said it was the best game that they've played so far in spring training. They beat the Dodgers 8-1 yesterday in Camelback. Now they're back in Peoria this afternoon with the Brewers in town. 1:10 first pitch. That game will not be televised. Well, with just 18 games remaining in the regular season, the Seattle Kraken face a daunting task to qualify for the postseason. The Washington Capitals are in Seattle tonight to take on the Kraken. They'll be at 7 o'clock on Root Sports. The Nashville Predators are also coming to town. They'll be in Seattle on Saturday night. Hockey closer to home. The best finish for the Wenatchee Wild in the Western Conference of the WHL is 4th. That's as good as they're going to get, and that's where they currently sit in the standings with 6 games to play in the regular season. Spokane visits tomorrow night, and the voice of the Wild, Austin Andrade, says even though the Chiefs are in 8th place, they will give the Wild all they can handle.
Spokane comes in, a group that's got an incredibly talented first line or two. They're still building that depth back from the last couple of years, but the first couple of lines are just as dangerous as any team in the league. They've got excellent goaltending. Dawson Cowan has been strong against us this season, so we've got to be ready to go on Friday night and take care of our end of the work against a pretty solid Spokane team that has given us every bit of the battle here the last times they played
If we keep the first line out of the back of the net, you like our chances then, because once they have to go deeper into the changeovers is when we have a chance to get
I like our chances if we can weather the storm at the top of their lineup.
And it seems that our line seems to be getting a little deeper. With all of the moves that Bliss had to make back in January, there's a lot of getting to know each other and how they roll, but they seem to have figured that out pretty well.
There has been, and regardless of who's been on that first line this season, whether it's been Connor Geekie and Matt Savoy earlier in the year, now it's been pretty consistently Evan Friesen and Briley Wood. Kenta Iso guy's been there the whole season. That first line has carried the weight for us this year, and the second line has done a great job here lately. Rogers Bucharts has settled in real nicely there. Miles Cooper has been arguably our best rookie this season, and Stephen Arp has come up really, really well here this season. I think Hayden Moore has settled pretty well into the center spot on that third line. So from any night, we can expect a lot from our top 2 or 3 lines. And if we get the the bottom line or two really clicking, this is a dangerous team and a tough one to beat.
After Spokane tomorrow night, the second-place Portland Winterhawks will be at the Town Toyota Center before the Wild close out their regular season with their last 4 games on the road. Quick look at some prep baseball scores. The Othello Huskies came to Ruck Park and knocked off the Panthers 5-4, and Cashmere and Liberty Bell tied. I think Cashmere beat Liberty Bell. I think it was 5-4. I think that's a typo. That's my bad. And a couple of quick scores in softball. Okanagan beat Omak 17-0, and Chelan and Liberty Bell, they did tie in soccer 1-1, and those are just some of the games that people are playing at 25 minutes after the hour. 14 obscure holidays. It's March 14th, ironically enough. Of course, that means it's Pie Day. It's also National Learn About Butterflies Day, National Children's Craft Day. It's National Write Down Your Own Story Day, National Underground America Day, National World Kidney Day, Science Education Day, Popcorn Lovers Day, Legal Assistant Day. It is Dribble to Work Day. It is the International Day of Mathematics. We'll get to that in just a little bit. International Ask a Question Day. It's Crowdfunding Day. We're not doing any of them. Today we're celebrating the potato chip. The potato chip, the great comfort food. We love potato chips here in the United States because Americans consume approximately 1.2 billion pounds of potato chips every year. Potato chips aren't exactly heavy. That's a lot of potato chips. The legend is that potato chips were invented in 1853 by a guy by the name of George Crumb. Don't know if it's true. The real breakthrough in potato chips was a guy by the name of Herman Lay. You may have heard of Lay's potato chips, who made potato chips that people loved so much he was selling them out of the trunk of his car in the 1920s, and somebody said, hey, Herm, he should probably do something more than that. During World War II, potato chip production stopped because potato chips were not considered essential food. So they didn't make them in World War II. By the way, we won that. During the height of the pandemic, sales of potato chips rose 32%. During the COVID pandemic, people scarfed down their potato chips for reasons I don't know. Potato chip bags are not filled all the way. You probably noticed that. They're unfilled with air that adds cushioning so they don't break during the shipping process. It also helps preserve the potato chips. They last a little bit longer. Pennsylvania is the potato chip capital of the world because more potato chips are made in Pennsylvania than any other state in the Union. And I'm pretty sure they crank out gobs and gobs of potato chips out there in Quincy. You got a lot of potatoes, you got a lot of Quincy, you got a lot of potato chips out there in the basin. Happy National Potato Chip Day. Today in history at 27 minutes after the hour. Well, the plot has been hatched. March 14th, 44 BC, so we're going back 2,068 years. Casca and Cassius decide on the night before the planned assassination of Julius Caesar that Mark Antony would not be assassinated. Mark Antony, of course, was Caesar's right-hand man. He was the general of the army, his most trusted advisor. They decided that Mark Antony would not be stabbed. The next day, of course, Mark Antony tried to warn Caesar, hey, something's up, Jerry. Jerry didn't pay much attention to him. He was going to warn him, and he couldn't do it. Anyway, way to go, Mark. 121 years ago today, the United States Senate passed the Hay-Herron Treaty, which meant we were going to dig the big ditch down there in the Isthmus of Panama. The Senate ratified the treaty, so it went to the Senate of Colombia. Colombia owned that particular hunk of real estate back in the day, but the Senate of Colombia refused to ratify it. They wanted to make a couple of changes as far as payment and a few other little odds and ends. So the Senate of the United States approved the treaty, but the Senate of Colombia didn't. They wanted to do a little more negotiating, and Teddy Roosevelt said, to hell with you. We'll just foment a revolution in Panama. We'll create our own country, and then we'll do a treaty with Panama and dig the big ditch, which is exactly what we did. Then we gave it back to Panama because it turns out it wasn't really the right thing to do. 57 years ago, this is fascinating. I did not know this until just a few years ago. I always thought that JFK was buried with the eternal flame shortly after his funeral on the Monday following his assassination. That was not the case. He was in a temporary grave until In the wee small hours of the morning of March 14th, 1967, his body was actually placed in this permanent burial place at Arlington National Cemetery. After the cemetery closed on March 14th, just a few members of the Kennedy family observed the body being exhumed from its temporary resting place and moved about 70 yards and lowered into the ground. And then the next morning, with Jackie Kennedy, the Kennedy family, and President Johnson in attendance, not open to the public, they did a ceremony. So JFK was permanently interned with the internal flame on this date in 1967. They did it very quietly. 43 years ago today, it's still the most controversial ending in the history of state championship basketball here in this state. Shadle Park defeats Mercer Island 66-65 to win the state AAA championship. At the Coliseum in Seattle, Greg Schmidt made the winning shot as the buzzer sounded. Mercer Island argued at the time, and they still believe it to this very day, that the shot came after time expired at the end of the game. They didn't have the LED lights around the glass backboard back in the day. They only had the 24-second clock up on the top of the backboard. The actual game clock was elsewhere, and the horn at the Seattle Center Coliseum and would normally toot automatically when the clock hit 0, but it had to be operated manually because they were having troubles with it. Mercer Island swore that Greg Schmidt's shot came after time expired. It didn't go over very well with the fans and the boosters and the players at Mercer Island. They stormed the court. They refused to leave. Chaos ensued for 25 minutes. They were supposed to do a trophy ceremony. Mercer Island boycotted it. They wouldn't go. Shadle Park didn't. They had to do the trophy ceremony in the Shadle Park locker room because Mercer Island wouldn't participate. During the 25 minutes of confusion and chaos, the purses of the Shadle Park cheerleaders were stolen. When it was all said and done, Mercer Island appealed to the WIAA Executive Board. I think we have that slide as well. And they said we lost, and there it is. Well, the WIAA, there's the two officials who officiated the state championship game. They both said no, the shot came on time. And once the officials leave the court, that's it, game's over. There is no appeal. They threatened to sue. There was all kinds of crazy stuff going on in Mercer Island. Mercer Island was eventually, because of their behavior after the game, was put on a 1-year postseason probation. And they still talk about it to this day. And this was back in 1981, 32 minutes after the hour. I mentioned it's International Mathematics Day because it's that guy's birthday, Albert Einstein. Born in this state in 1879, he was named by Time magazine as the person of the 20th century. He's got a pretty good claim to fame for it. I don't know, maybe FDR or Winston Churchill or Stalin or Lenin perhaps, but Einstein got the job. Einstein absolutely refused, when he was growing up, he refused to study any subjects that he wasn't interested in. He was interested in mathematics, and so he studied that on his own volition, but if it was a subject he didn't care about, he just didn't care about it. He never studied it at all. He loved sailing. When he was living in Switzerland, going to school there, he fell in love with sailing, and he loved sailing. He was terrible at it. He was like there was like 20 occasions where he had to be rescued by various agencies because he would wreck his boat or sink his boat. He loved to sail. He was just crappy at it. He got a lot of fan mail, as you might imagine, especially after he moved to the United States. And he answered some of it, but he always made a point of answering any fan mail that came from children. He loved answering fan mail from kids. Albert Einstein, a guy who's smarter than me, born in the state in 1879. The great Lee Hayes, one of the founders of perhaps my favorite folk group, The Weavers. Lee Hayes, he wrote If I Had a Hammer, and he wrote Kiss Is Sweeter Than Wine, and he wrote Wasn't That a Time? The great Lee Hayes, the bass and baritone of The Weavers, born in the state in 1914. Listen to the music, you'll feel better as a human being. Quincy Jones, 91 years old. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A record 80 Grammy nominations and 28 Grammy Awards. He's got a lot of trophies on his mantle. Quincy Jones, Seattle legend, 91 years old today. Billy Crystal, 76 years old today. I don't know what he's doing now. He's still funny. Happy birthday to Billy Crystal, 76 years old today. Who's that? Who do I got next? It's Simone Biles. Simone Biles, the most honored American gymnast ever. Of course, now she came back to retirement. She wants to go to Paris and do it again. This summer, Simone Biles is 27, and happy birthday to Steph Curry. I almost forgot this one. I found Steph Curry, the only man in the history of the NBA to be the unanimous MVP. He's also considered one of the greatest shooters in basketball history. Steph Curry is 36 years old today. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Before the heat comes this summer, have Alpine Air give your HVAC system a look so it won't break down when it's 100 degrees outside. Our friends at Pool to Spa Services proud to be on board. Pool to Spa Services have all that. If you got a hot tub, you need chemicals, they got them at Pool to Spa Services. They'll test your water too. And our good friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista. Still to come, an opinion from my Mad Dog Ignaty, Austin Andrade for the Wenatchee Wild, but it is Thursday. Apollo the dog needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Pause for Pets is presented by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, Doghouse Brewery, Leavenworth, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, animal care manager here. And this big, beautiful boy is Apollo. He is our 5-year-old shepherd, German shepherd. And he is just such a wonderful, wonderful dog. We've had him far too long, I want to say 2 months now, which is absolutely ridiculous because he is the best boy. Apollo is very smart. He responds instantly to sit and down and stay, and he's just so well-mannered, gives great eye contact. He wants to do whatever you want him to do. He just wants to spend time with you. We also know that he's great with kids. We've had a few meet and greets here with him and families, with small kids and teenagers, and he's just like this. He just hangs out and he's interested, but he's so sweet. He's also very playful. He loves the stuffed animals, and he loves fetch, and he will actually bring the ball back and drop it for you. He's a beautiful, good, all-round boy. As usual, we don't know how he is with cats because he came to us as a stray, so we don't have any, owner surrender information or anything like that. But we do know that he gets along with some of our dogs here. He can be selective, but when he makes a dog friend, they are best friends. And we do, of course, always encourage you to bring your own dog here, if you have one, to meet our dogs, because that's important too. Everybody in the family should get along. Staff members here too have been taking Apollo into their office lately. We've been doing this little office foster thing here where we can, and Apollo has been their favorite. He just, I've been told that he just kind of lays there and hangs out, and is just very chill with them. Just spends all day just by their desk. So if you would like to come meet Apollo, we are open 11 till 6, Thursday through Tuesday, and he would love to meet you.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Pause for Pets is presented by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, Doghouse Brewery, Leavenworth, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
How do you think like an entrepreneur?
I have had it in mind starting my own business. This is all really good to know right now.
I am currently making a vision board. I am talking about my well-being, my personal finances, and habits that I would like to work on and to improve myself to be a better entrepreneur.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, as I get older, I've noticed something. My body might be pushing 70, but I still feel emotionally like an 18-year-old. And according to my dear wife, my maturity level really is closer to the latter than it is to the former. And I like to say, you're only young once, but you can be immature forever. But I have to admit, so far it's been an interesting 68 trips around the sun, and I have some pretty good memories to look back on. But you know what they say, if you remember the 60s, you weren't really there. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can lift this up lifetime warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Gee, it's Wednesday and it's Ostendrade. What do those two things mean when you add them up together? Wenatchee Wild Hockey here at the Town Toyota Center. The last two home games of the regular season, and they are big in Spokane on Friday, Portland on Saturday. We are currently in fourth. We'll get to all that good, juicy hockey talk because we're down to just the last 6 games of the regular season to begin with. Ostendrade, broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. And the man, I'm told you won the eBay auction for the old Wild bus. You won it?
We're going road tripping. I don't know where. I don't know how I'm going to afford the gas.
Well, that's right. Boy, you probably, I know what you make. I'm amazed you can drive your own car, quite frankly. Let's recap. Let's go back to last weekend, Friday night down at the Toyota Center, not this arena, the one in Kennewick. Took it to the Tri-City Americans pretty good, 8-1. It wasn't even that close. As we roll highlights of the 8 Wenatchee goals in order, your impressions of Friday night's game. What can we take away from it?
No, Friday night the guys looked good. Got off to a great start. Gave up 1 goal right at the very end of the first period. So Tri-City was able to take a little bit of momentum into the locker room. But It's great to see Briley Wood and Evan Friesen back into the lineup again. Briley looked like he hadn't missed a step. Neither did Evan, but Briley came up with a couple goals, 3 assists, a new career high for him. Guys were up 3-1 at the end of the second period. Kenta hit Briley for a fantastic cross-the-body one-timer over on the left wing to take us into the third period. But the guys got some power play chances in the third period, really connected on them. 4 for 6, I think, was the final line there. So the guys played maybe their most complete game in a while, and give Tri-City a little break. I think they're battling some injuries right now. They were down to 10 forwards and 5 defensemen on Friday night. The goaltender got hurt with 14 minutes left in the game, so had to bring in their backup and try to finish things off on a good note for them. But
they looked tired, especially the third period.
They looked a little tired. They had a tough challenge during the week as well. They and Portland, who we played on Saturday, both played games during the week. So it was a group that looked like the heavy legs were starting to set in a little bit toward the end of the game, and our guys were able to keep going and power through a big win there on Friday night.
You mentioned the one goal that the Tri-Cities Americans scored. It was a completely fluke goal. The guy was the puck bounced right in front of him as he was leaving the penalty box to go back to full swing. It bounced right to him. It was a one-on-one thing. Can't remember the last time I've seen that.
Well, and it wasn't just that. It was he took it in, gave a couple nice moves against Brendan. He stopped the first shot.
Yeah, he did.
And after it went off, I think it was his shoulder, Brendan's looking around underneath him, trying to figure out, is he on top of the puck? Did it get through? It was out in front of him. And Parker Bell came by. Secondary break for Tri-City, found it and popped it in the back of the net. So
have you seen goals like that? It's just the puck happens to be right at the skater's feet when he gets out of the penalty box and he's got nobody in front of him except the goalie.
It's one of those things that happens every so often. It's one of the reasons that on occasion I'll say if there's a few seconds left in a power play and it gets cleared down to our end of the ice, can we get it past the penalty boxes before time expires? Because at least once we get it past the penalty box, whoever is coming off the penalty bench, or if he skates over and gets a replacement, he's got to get himself back into the play before they can get a fifth guy into the action. So it happens once in a while. It's one of those things that you hope happens for you. You don't like seeing it happen to you, and unfortunately, that's one of those things that did on Friday night.
It didn't affect the outcome of the game. In fact, the Wild responded brilliantly, I might add. That was Friday night. In the Rose City on Saturday, an entirely different story. I mean, Portland's good. Let's get that out of the way right now. But they gave us a pretty good beating.
Portland's got a deep team. They've got a physical and a big team, but they've got a lot of speed to go with that size, which is always a tough combination when you got to go down and play in their building too. But the guys were in the battle until the start of the third period. It was a 3-1 game, and they got another one early to make it 4-1 game and start pulling away from there. But basically a perfect defensive performance from the guys, other than about a 2.5-minute stretch in the first period. And Portland's a team, they get off to great starts, and they usually carry them through the second period. So when you play the Winterhawks, you're going to have to weather an early storm. And other than those 3 goals that the guys gave up rapid fire there in the middle of the first period, I thought the guys weathered the storm pretty well.
Speaking of weathering the storm, we're going to have to weather a little bit of a storm regarding our goalie situation before we get into the standings and the push for the playoffs. Briefly touch on that, where we are with the backstops.
So Daniel Hauser has been out of the lineup with injuries for coming up on about a month now. So we've had some affiliate players filling in net. If you saw any of the box scores from when we were up in Alberta, you might have seen Justin Perreault, who's one of our signed players, who's playing his AAA hockey in Winnipeg right now. The last few times we've had an affiliate player up, it's been Noah Stenvig, who's been playing juniors up in BC as an affiliate for us. Right now, all of our affiliate players are with their AAA teams or their junior teams, Junior A, Junior B. So right now, at this past weekend, we only had one goaltender available for us. And what happens in that situation is we'll have a local player come in and basically he gets a jersey. Both the guys had nameplates on their jerseys on Friday and Saturday, but he sits on the bench. He's ready to go in an emergency. He can't come in unless our starting goaltender gets hurt. But he's a local kid who's ready for a shot just in case. One thing about it, a lot of folks were asking about it on our social media. Why do you only have one goaltender listed? And the reason for that is our guys are not NCAA eligible, which means if we list even an emergency backup as a member of our team, it can throw off his college eligibility, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So if he has to come in, we sort that out at the league level that night or after the game, but we cannot list him as a member of our team, even though he's ready to come in and he's in uniform just in case.
It makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So here are we with, again, 6 regular season games left. Some have 5, some have 7. We have 6. The standings are pretty straightforward. Right now it's Prince George, it's Portland, it's Everett. They're 1, 2, and 3, and they have separated, as they have for really the last few weeks, from the rest of the pack. It's a question of who gets first, second, and third. Right now, we are in 4th place with 68 points. Right behind us, Kelowna is in 5th place, 66 points. Victoria, 65 points. Vancouver, 62 points. Those are the 4 teams who are battling for that all-important 4th playoff position out of the Western Conference, because that means home ice advantage in the first round.
That means home ice advantage in the first round. That could mean the extra home game for you if it comes down to a 7th game. And I got a feeling whoever's on that 4-5 line probably will this year. But you're battling for that number 4 spot, so you get home ice. You're at least battling for that number 5 spot, if nothing else, so you don't have to take on one of those big 3 in the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to avoid that. And sitting right now is Spokane at 60 points, and we have Spokane coming up on Friday. We'll get to that in a minute. Seattle, Tri-Cities, and Kamloops are pretty much out of it at this point of the season. So is that what it looks like right now? Those 8 teams out of the 11 in the West are going to be the playoff teams? Those will be your 8 teams. So once again, to recap, it'll be Prince George, Portland, Everett, Wenatchee, Kelowna, Victoria, Vancouver, and Spokane. It's just a matter of where they fall in line, and we have a chance to help ourselves quite a bit come Friday night, don't we?
We do. Spokane comes in, a group that's got an incredibly talented first line or two. They're still building that depth back from the last couple of years, but the first couple of lines are just as dangerous as any team in the league. They've got excellent goaltending. Dawson Cowan has been strong against us this season, so we've got to be ready to go on Friday night and take care of our end of the work against a pretty solid Spokane team that has given us every bit of the battle here the last times they've played us.
If we keep the first line out of the back of the net, you like our chances then, because once they have to go deeper into the changeovers is when we have a chance to get
I like our chances if we can weather the storm at the top of their lineup.
And it seems that our line seems to be getting a little deeper. With all of the moves that Bliss had to make back in January, there's a lot of getting to know each other and how they roll, but they seem to have figured that out pretty well.
There has been, and regardless of who's been on that first line this season, whether it's been Connor Geekie and Matt Savoy earlier in the year, now it's been pretty consistently Evan Friesen and Briley Wood. Kenta Isogai's been there the whole season. That first line has carried the weight for us this year, and the second line has done a great job here lately. Rogers Bucharts has settled in real nicely there. Miles Cooper has been arguably our best rookie this season, and Stephen Arp has come up really, really well here this season. I think Hayden Moore has settled pretty well into the center spot on that third line. So from any night, we can expect a lot from our top 2 or 3 lines. And if we get the bottom line or 2 really clicking, this is a dangerous team and a tough one to beat.
It would be fun to beat Spokane on Friday night, just to get a big sigh of relief and just get those vital points that we need as we're down to the very end. And then a very good Portland team on Saturday.
Very good Portland team on Saturday. Our group has had a lot of success in this building. Hopefully that'll continue with the game on Saturday, but no doubt we know what we're going to see, and we've got our work cut out for us.
Absolutely. Friday night is 80s night, including a great look back at the years that I don't remember, 1986 and 1987. It's a long story. 80s night. So what can folks expect promotion-wise and goofy off-wise on Friday night?
We'll have some contests going for your vintage leather and your big hair and your neon on Friday night. But we're also it's our last Kids in Free night as well. From Weinstein Beverages sponsoring the evening, but they're also providing some free kids tickets for that one. So those went on sale on Monday. You can get those over the phone or through our box office, and then we get to the finale on Saturday night.
Saturday is going to be huge. First of all, people have been asking us, don't they do a bobblehead like every year? Yes, they do. They just happen to save it for the last game of the year at home in the regular season, and that's the Portland game. Saturday night, you got so much stuff going on. I hope you can remember it all.
Ag Supply is taking care of the sponsorship that night. We'll do our bobblehead giveaway that night, as we always do. We'll give away some bigger prizes during the night. I think we've got 10 set aside for that evening, and yeah, it'll be. We'll have hopefully a big crowd on hand to push these guys to a couple of badly needed points here against a very, very good Portland team.
Last I checked, tickets are scarce. They're a little bit more available on Friday. You might absolutely double check on Saturday. I wouldn't expect. Just don't take any chances. Don't just show up at the box office on Saturday and think you can buy some tickets and walk in. At least you might not even be able to sit next to each other.
Earlier the better.
It's that kind of ticket sale.
Earlier the better
for Saturday, and of course it's raffles. So get ready to raffle off some cool stuff. A lot of stuff is being raffled off. And then we have our last 4 on the road.
Yep, starting on Sunday already. We'll travel over to Spokane and play the Chiefs again on Sunday, but road trip over to Victoria next Wednesday and next Friday. We'll have, I think, an off day in Victoria on Thursday.
Yeah, back-to-back Victoria games, so you get to stay in Victoria.
We get to stay in Victoria
Beautiful town.
For an extra day. I've already been told what I should do while we're up there, and we hit Everett on the way home on Saturday and take care of the rest of the regular season. We'll see how the rest of the standings shake out around us. We'll try to control what we can control.
And again, if Wenatchee finishes 4th, which is where we're at now, and that's as good as we're going to get. We've mentioned this before. Nobody's going to catch up with Prince George, Portland, or Everett. That's not going to happen. We finish 4th. We have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and then they reseed everything. All the playoff rounds are best of 7. We need to stress that as well. And finally, we want to close it out with the Austin Andrade Chico's Bail Bonds Wenatchee Wild Player of the Week, the highest honor any Wenatchee Wild player can get, well, from Austin anyway, and it is.
Let's give it to Brendan G. I know he had a rough night on Saturday night, but came up with a big one on Friday night for us. We'll give the honorable mention to Briley Wood for a great game on Friday night and a huge return from the injury bug. So we'll give that award out as we get ready to give out some awards on the ice at our awards banquet. We taped this on Monday, so that's already happened. They've switched us back to ice by then, but we gave away some awards on Monday, and we're looking forward to our folks finding out who those are.
Help this team through the playoff push by getting your tickets. Again, don't just assume you can show up Friday, perhaps Saturday. Either call ahead or just don't show up and think you can just buy tickets and walk into the joint. You might not be able to. Who knows? I'm going to be here on Saturday night.
Should be fun.
So you want me to sing the national anthem?
I don't get to decide that.
Oh, you don't? Who gets to decide that? Who can I talk to?
Head to our front office.
Okay. I don't know the words, though.
Well,
I'll need cue cards.
That might be a problem.
Oh, Canada. Austin Andrade, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see
I'll
you.
drop by and see you in the Crow's Nest Saturday night, if you don't mind an interloper popping
Sounds good.
in your office, if you don't mind. All right, Austin Andrade, and we will be right back.
For more than 60 years, Crown Furniture and Mattress has been making North Central Washington the most comfortable place to live, one home at a time. We're offering store-wide savings and closeouts. Save on recliners, mattresses, dining, sofa and loves, occasional tables, and bedroom groups. Some items discounted to employee pricing. There's no better time to purchase quality at a great price. Limited to stock on hand. See us today at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue, across from Stan's.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an environmentally green dealership award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
It's me, Blippi! Blippi's back on stage with his brand new Wonderful World Tour.
I'm an excavator.
Sing, dance, and make new discoveries. In Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour with special guest Mika.
My name is Mika. Yeah, it's nice to meet ya.
For tickets and more, visit BlippiOnTour.com. Blippi, the Wonderful World Tour.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
The sun is up over Lake Wenatchee. The sun is up all over the place, and the sun is going to be bathing us for the next 7 days anyway, with the possibility of at least tying record high temperatures on Sunday and Monday. And Tuesday, which by the way is also the day of the vernal equinox, although it is in the evening, Tuesday is when we switch over to spring, and we could set a record high temperature on Tuesday. That's our best bet for record high temperatures. Big ridge off the Pacific coast is building up in strength. Not only is it going to build up in strength, it's going to start gliding over the Pacific Northwest and everywhere in our viewing area. Gorgeous weather. One more look at the forecast. How about 55 today, which is what we hit yesterday. We're off to a cooler start, though. It's still 32 degrees here outside of our studios. 38 for the overnight low tonight, and then we warm up to 60 on Friday. By Saturday, 66. Bust out the shorts and the sunglasses. I'm looking, oh yeah, Sunday, 70. When was the last time we had a weekend this good looking? Sunday and Monday, forecast high of 70. That would tie record highs for those respective dates. That 72 on Tuesday would be our record high. And that's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Stanton's Great Big World from Agra.